Hello and welcome back to another episode. We're actually going to do a little bit different today. We're actually going to sit down and do like a work session, I suppose you could probably say. Going to jump on that bandwagon. So today we've got some CDs, got some death metal, got some CDs that I've never actually heard of. I think going through the two piles that I have, there's probably Iron Maiden, AC/DC, and Metallica is probably the only ones I heard of. So we'll go through those. We do have some games that I want to list as well, just some DS-LOS cartridges. Do have my trusty 3DS here. And my beloved Grimace Cup. I do want to talk about Grimace Cup because I did hear the Geelong Flipper talk about those. I don't want to say yesterday's video, but it's probably maybe a couple of days ago because I'm falling behind. So we'll start in a sec. Before we get into it, it's Sailor Moon on the arcade machine today. So you're probably going to hear the docile tones of Japanese girls beating people up in the background. So I can't do much about that, but we'll get into the workability right now. All right, hopefully it doesn't make you seasick because it looks like it is moving side to side. But anyway, get back today. So like I said before, we actually got some 3DS carts, and I will turn this thing off. Wait a sec. All right, we're back. So I took it and, sorry, I'll speak in a second. I've turned off the seasickness gauge, so we'll just have to persevere with that. So we do have some 3DS carts and 3DS carts and some DS carts. So generally speaking, I normally pick up Facebook Marketplace slots and get some decent games out of it. I normally cherry pick the games that are like Pokemon and Zelda and Sonic. And a couple of the obscure ones, such as Rhythm Heaven, which doesn't really go for that much in Australia, to tell you the truth. In the US, it's a bit of a bolo, so if you are over that way, probably do look out for that one. So this is a 3DS unit. DS games aren't region locked, so in the sense that if you do buy Australian ones, you buy UK ones, you buy American ones, USA, all these different region codes. The Japanese ones, obviously, I mean Japanese, but they will work on a Australian console, they'll work on an American console, Japanese console, all those different things, right? However, these are 3DSs and these are region locked, right? So the big thing you do need to be mindful of if you are in Australia and if you are selling 3DS games, put something in the description field saying that they are PAL regioned, in the sense that you need to be have a PAL console, which this one is. So it's Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and probably somewhere else. So obviously not America, I'm pretty sure Asia falls into the PAL except for Japan, but don't quote me on that. I don't really come across that much stuff. Anyway, so these are region locked to PAL consoles, unless someone's hacked their 3DS and made it region free, which I'm not going to go into because it's just too difficult to talk from a buyer's perspective. So realistically, you're getting your completionists that probably do know what the region codes are, but you really want to cater to the lowest common denominator. I know that sounds horrible, but that's what it is. So I normally put a line in the sense that I'm just dealing with, I'll do that. Sorry, I'm just dealing with the Facebook Marketplace deal. So we're going to put a pin on the 3DSs for a second. We're going to talk about this Facebook Marketplace deal. So I did reach out to this guy. He had a bunch of Switch games, so like a lot of Mario games, a lot of Pokemon games, a lot of other ones that I really Switch. I dare say that Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out the next couple of months, and it will be backwards compatible. I can always guarantee that without a shadow of a doubt. So this guy was holding probably about 20 or 30, or probably not that, maybe 15 Switch games. So I did reach out to him. He had different price points. He wanted $30 plus $40 and all these different things. So I reached out to him saying, hey, look, what do you want for all the Switch games? Because I'm not interested in PlayStation 4 games. I'm not interested in Xbox One games, with the exception of a few. But I could probably flip the Switch games quite quickly, right? So never got back to me. So read my messages. I was very, 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 very tempted to leave the group in a silent protest. Today is Saturday, and on Saturday, I don't normally take my medication. I think I have spoken about this before, and to say the least, I turn into a bit of a grump on a Saturday. Before I do the Sunday videos, I normally take my medicine a couple of hours beforehand just to calm it off. But it really does feel like, I suppose, for the Ritalin, it does feel like you're coming off a high or you are addicted to it. I really can't explain it. Like, I don't crave for it, but if I haven't taken it, I do turn into a bit of a grump. And as such, would be unceremoniously kicked out into the garage because my wife said, look, hey, you're cranky. go sit in the garage and do something down there. So, yeah, sorry, I thought he must have undersold me. So yeah, like I said, that I'm picking up 10 Switch games for $20 a piece, so $250 for them. So that's like a couple of Pokemon games, Advanced War, a couple of Mario games, a couple of shitty ones in the sense of like your Mario Rabbids games. They pretty much, that's probably overpaying it from that way. But when you do bulk lots like this, you probably want to be taking the good with the bad. You can't cherry pick. So that will go towards the Japan challenge. So at the moment, we've in the Japan challenge, and I am mindful I'm going to get back to the 3DS stuff in a second. We've currently hit $6,377. So that's starting from $50 in the 1st of January. So we're in, the first week of March at the moment. So we're just over $6,300 from that $50 investment. That's primarily just starting off from, I think it was a couple of Switch games that I originally started off from and doing that. So I did buy some Treasure X, if you do remember that. The Treasure X didn't necessarily go the way I was expecting. I paid $2 a piece for them, so I think I got like 10 for 20 bucks or something like that. Still sitting here, they haven't done anything. I have dropped them down to $35 plus postage. The sold comps are about that $55 mark, all from the US. So I probably at one stage, probably the next week or so, will drop them down to $24.99 plus that $10 postage to try and entice those international buyers and clear them out from that basis. Because I suppose the way I run my eBay business, and I think I've spoken about this before, is that I don't want stuff hanging around for a very, very long time. And this is the reason behind these you can't tell my medication hasn't kicked in. You'll get distracted with little things. So long story short, these games, right, they came from a bulk lot, which I originally bundled up with a DSi console, which is region locked. So if you do have a DSi console, they are region locked to a PAL and NTSC. So like your America, your Japan, all those different things. But going back, everyone's going to love this, jumping up all over the place. So going back to these games, so these are Nintendo DS games. I think there was only released a couple of DSi games that required the DSi to function, but for the vast majority, probably over 95%, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, is that DS games aren't region locked. So in the sense that, if you buy something from Australia, you buy something from the USA, they are able to play in alternative systems. So that goes for your Nintendo DS, which is just, on the back will just say Nintendo DS, and the easiest way to tell if it's a Nintendo DS, not a 3DS. Just pretend, I don't have a console on me at the moment, this is a 3DS, but your DS will be kind of rectangular, very square, rectangular shaped, and they won't have a camera on the front. And it'll have on the back, obviously, Nintendo DS. If you've got a DSi, it'll be a very similar shape, maybe a little bit bigger, and it'll have a camera on probably around there. That's how you can actually tell it's a DSi. So if it is a DSi, it's region locked. And they tend to not go for as much money. So I did bundle up the DSi that I got. Dixon, yep, cool, sorry. I'm not cutting this out, so you're gonna have to deal with me with my Facebook Marketplace deals. I'm in Grace. I can come out this afternoon tonight, if that suits. Yeah, so I want you to feel involved, right? So what we are picking up is we're getting Mario Strikers, Rabbids, so Mario Rabbids 2. Mario Rabbids is pretty highly rated in the sense that it was a bit of a sleeper hit. Everyone thought it was going to be crap, but when it came out, that was pretty good. I actually played a bit of it myself, and I'm not a Rabbids fan. I can't stand Rabbids, but I quite enjoyed. It's kind of like XCOM. Normally not a fan of those ones, but the Mario made it a bit more palatable. Rabbids 2 is probably a bit shit, so I wouldn't. That's like those ones. So I dare say Mario Rabbids, and I haven't checked yet, it'll probably be about $20 free postage. Mario Rabbids 2 is probably the same, being pre-owned. We've got Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Shield. So we're paying $25 a piece for these. We've got Advanced Wars, Dragon Quest Treasures, Persona 5 Royal, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So we're picking up those for $25 a piece. I will price them probably at the bottom of the market because they are coming out of the Japan challenge and I want them to flip as quickly as possible so I can keep rolling that money. I'm probably 2 or 3% ahead of where I need to be this time of the year with that $6,300. I am picking up a whole bunch of Zombicide board games tomorrow, and I have spoken about Zombicide before, and I will talk about Grimace in a second. The board games, so this gentleman had them listed for $8.50, and they're all opened, very similar to the Dark Souls we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, where the guy, I don't know what it is. These people, they love opening games up and just setting them up, sleeving the cards and all those different things. So kind of like your top loaders. I don't have anything on me at the moment. No, I did at one stage, but I don't have it at the moment. So if you know cards, you probably know what a top loader is. So they put the cards in there, just obviously protect them when they are playing them, stuff like that. And this guy is actually a professional game or tabletop painter. So in the sense that he actually paints the characters to a very, very, very obscenely high standard. So generally, and I have said in the past, is that open board games I do tend to steer away from, in the sense that you don't know if all the pieces are there. You've got to go through the boxes and make sure all those different things. And people really, really want the experience of opening it up brand new, the excitement, the endorphin hits and all those different things, the dopamine, endorphin. Same thing, like, I'm not a, I'm not a doctor or a biologist, so I don't know what's going on, but. So like I said, they like that. So generally speaking, 99% of the time, I do avoid open board games, but this guy has the very, very, very hard to find Zombicide expansion. So he has the reboot box, which have spoken about previously, which I have sold for $550 by itself. So he wanted $850 for the whole lot, and I've talked him down to $650, and he's going to deliver it to me because he's literally 45 minutes away. So he's coming across tomorrow to sell some Skylanders. Sounds good. Be available at 3:30. Easy to play with Super Emoji. Yeah, that's cool. So like I was saying, is that I've lost my train of thought. So the tabletop games, right? So generally speaking, because this guy has painted them to a very, very high standard, he's taken very, very good pictures of them. I'm happy to take a punt at $650. Primarily coming out of the Japan fund, and as to what I could sell them for, it's anyone's guess. So I really don't have my head across, painting miniatures and all these different things, but obviously someone else might have a better idea than me. But generally what you need to do when you get your characters or your plastic molds, and this goes for Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer and these games that use miniatures as well, is you need to prime them. So I think it's a spray can. You basically give them like a base layer. I think that's what it is. So he's primed everything with the exception of the ones he's painted. So it's got, might as well just show you, right? Because it's easier to kind of go from that way. So realistically, he has, this is the reboot box, and sorry, we're going to play, as we go. So this is Washington ZC for Zombicide. Out of all the expansions and all the different things for Zombicide, this is by far the worst. I can't even clear this game out for $50 brand new. This one's opened. It has been painted. I can't really see, but he has painted the characters like to a very high standard. And this one includes, like Ninja Turtles. Apparently the Ninja Turtles are in it, and he's actually done those to a pretty high standard as well. So you've got Donatello, you've got Rocksteady, you've got Leonardo, you've got Krang and Shredder and all these different ones. So I'm not too sure. It's obviously not based on the 88 cartoon that I grew up and loved with. So, but like I said, like the quality of how he's painted these things with the battle damage and all these different things goes towards my decision in paying for these things. Because if he had have left them open, unpainted, I probably wouldn't have offered the $650, because the Ninja Turtle sets, there's 2 of them, I think, they go for about $400 brand new and sealed. Because he's painted them, then I will probably float around that $350 mark. For the simple fact is the people get them and they're just, generally speaking, yellow. They're probably this color, or they're probably one color purple, or something along the lines of that, and that's how they are. So this guy's painted them. Someone like myself that wants to play Zombicide, that doesn't have the expertise, to say the least, I don't have the confidence, nor the what do they call it? the patience to paint, would probably pick this up. The simple fact is they look fantastic. They look professionally done, which they probably are, and you can go from that way. So if they were very crudely done, that's obviously going to hurt the price point. But because he was obviously painted to a very, very, very high standard, and it's probably something he enjoys. Like I said, I went back with 650. Well, originally offered 600, but he said he wanted 700, so he dropped it down from 150 straight away. And I said, look, I can't really do 700. I had 650 because my stance was that I'm trying, and I have spoken about this in previous videos as well, I'm trying to take the emotion out of it in the sense that I don't particularly care if I buy things or if I don't buy things. I need to remove my head stance from becoming over attached to items and going, hey look, I really need to get this thing, and get into a bidding war with someone else and paying up for things. So what my stock standard thing to do at the moment for sourcing is to, obviously I have said before, is join Facebook groups that are in niches such as board games, such as Skylanders, such as everything you can think of. Anything that you want to sell, join those Facebook groups. I kind of sit as a silent participant waiting in the background. If I want to buy something, for example these Zombicide games, I save it as soon as I see it, then I come back 24 hours later and see what's happened with it. So if it hasn't sold, I will come in and lowball people, but I will drop the price to a point where I'm comfortable and happy to do that price point, which is what that $600 was. I wasn't really upset if he had told me to piss off or to say no, but when he said, would you do closer to $700, I thought, well, I'll be a bit cheeky because I'm really hurting for stock at the moment, and I will talk about that in a second. So I thought, well, Zombicide, obviously board games, I do sell board games as well, and that will revigorate the board game part of my store, because obviously you need to be constantly pushing things into your store from your categories or from your niches to get stuff moving. So I haven't been able to find many Skylanders lately. I haven't been able to find many board games. It's just time of the year. With video games, my preference isn't to sell them because they fluctuate too high, they're oversaturated and all these different things. I would rather deal with things that are out of print or obviously retired, like Lego or the Zombicide. A lot of these expansions are out of print in the sense they don't make them anymore. So like the Ninja Turtles, the Supernatural ones, they have 3 packs of Supernatural. So you've got Dean, you've got Sam, and you've got a third one, which was a pre-order bonus, and you can't get it anymore, which was Crowley, which is the demon. So the third one goes for obscene amounts of money. I don't know if he's painted those characters. He has painted some, he hasn't painted others. So he's got, I'm going to probably butcher this, Denny Trejo. So that's a zombified version of him. So like I was saying, it's like he's pretty much painted into a pretty quite high quality. So from my understanding, I haven't played Zombicide, but they have obviously 2 or 3 different character variants. The base game from memory has 2 variants in the sense that you've got your stock standard character, and then you've obviously got a zombified version of them. Once that character dies, they come back as a zombie. I think that's how the game plays. I think when you're selling these things, you just want to you want to be one step ahead of your consumer base. Like I said, I don't play board games. I hate board games. I don't have the patience for it. However, if someone comes and asks me, I will Google. I will basically do a little bit of research to sound like I am confident in the sense that I do know what I'm talking about, and go back to them and give them an answer that 99% of the time they're happy to know. So like I was saying is that the Zombicide, you've got your alive character and you've got your dead character. Denny Trejo looks like he's got 3 versions. He looks like he's got his alive one, then he's got his turned one, and he's got his Hulk one or something like that. So you got the Boys as well. The Boys, which is obviously a TV show, not really sought after. So for those 3 packs there, it's probably looking at about $150 brand new. Depending on if he's painted them or what he's done with them, it'll probably be about $80 to $100 for that 3 packs if they're brand new. If they're open, I mean, because everything's open. If they're just been primed or they're just left alone, I probably will put them at that $80 to $100 price point, because there's none in Australia. So I do have that working for me. A lot of people in Australia don't stock these. A lot of them are from Kickstarters. Yes, you can get them from the States. However, people tend to want to shop closer. So when you do see on eBay, for example, I had to buy a charger port for the 3DS. I sold my last one, so I had to go on there and buy just a USB charger for it. And what I did is I paid double for one that's in Australia opposed to the one that's in China. So the one in China will probably take 2 or 3 weeks to get here, completely the same. But the one from one from Sydney, it's probably from China anyway. It's got about a 2 or 3 delivery day before it will get here, which is perfectly fine. I can piggyback off the back of my DSi because apparently that uses, well, it does use the same charger as the 3DS. So I can use that until I sell it. But generally speaking, I normally have about 4 or 5 USB 3DS chargers on stock. For the simple fact is I do pick up a lot of 3DS units. Not so much lately, but you normally do, and they don't come with a charger, so it's not bad to have one in the background. Jumping back to Zombicide, you're all have your head strapped on. So this is the Ghostbusters set. He has painted the Marshmallow Man. You can't really see, but we'll go. So he has painted Marshmallow Man, and apparently all the other character packs like Zool and Winston, my beloved Egon, and the Terror Dogs. I believe he's primed them so that if they're primed, I dare say that probably would hurt the pricing, in the sense I probably would charge 75%, 80% of the brand new sealed package rate for open and primed. For the simple fact is that someone might want those particular characters sealed for investment purposes. Zombicide, I do find that people do use them for investment purposes. They buy from Kickstarter and go from that way. So a lot of these are out of stock, right? In the sense they won't be made again. But if they're primed, someone might want to leave them sealed, or that that they don't have the expertise to paint them themselves. So generally speaking, it's probably not ideal to have them primed. It would be either opened raw, in the sense of saying, hey, they're completely fresh, there's nothing wrong with them, or perfectly painted. The ones between those things, obviously, being primed and a shitty paint job probably hurt the market a little bit in that respect. But primed is obviously a lot better than a Josh job or a Minon J job of painting them. So needless to say, that's coming around tomorrow. I am in the process of dealing that at the moment. I will probably split it into the packs. I don't bundle board games in the sense because they're a friggin' nightmare to ship, because more often than not they are boxes this thick, but very square boxes and very obscure, weird shapes, which is probably why I got into the board game market in the first place, because a lot of people would prefer to send off these, in the sense, padded envelope or a mailer, or a little box if you were that way inclined. They're infinitely easy because you can pretty much pick up anything and put it in a box or in a padded mailer, which are ones behind me. Up those probably says a little bit of red up here. Oh jeez, there, those ones. It's in reverse, right? So they're padded mailers, so you could send those in that. I normally do send these in a padded mailer. I do put them in a Ziploc bag, not this Ziploc bag, that's what I normally store them in. So just your sandwich size or your snack size, so the ones probably about this big. I have seen them smaller, but realistically just use the ones that you can pretty much get quantity for cheap, and something you can use for something else as well. So, and I have said before, one day I'll have it out here, but I normally use, I don't have it with me at the moment, so there's the Skylanders for you. So this is a sandwich size bag. At the worst case scenario, I would normally drop in a DS or a 3DS cartridge in that, fold it over, and then put it in a padded mailer, just a small one, like a DVD size one. So that's how I would normally send those off. And a lot of people would do that because it's simple, it's easy. You just walk in there and do all those different things. So as you get more complicated, the barrier to entry becomes higher, in the sense that people don't know how to send board games. I could imagine people just wrap it in brown paper and off it goes. Board games and Funko Pops and Lego sets, we have spoken about this before. Condition is everything. With board games, I normally do a lot of photos, and I have stipulated in the comments, or sorry, in the item description of board games that I've done before, is that look at all the photos. So I have said before, it's just hypothetically, I've got Paperboy here. I've got some Sega Master Systems games that came in. I was going to show you a little bit later as well. So if this had any imperfections, which is obviously it's got a cut along the back of here, or the artwork's not the proper size, I'm not too sure what's going on there. My first photo would be this. On the back, it would be basically a photo zooming in on that imperfection there. So that'd be the second one. Then I would just roll from, first one, imperfection is the second one, then roll with the other photos. Obviously the full back, the spine, the edges, and the cartridge and the booklet or the manual if you're that way inclined. Depending on the price point of the game, depends on how overboard I go with photos, and I have said about before. So generally, Pokemon X, it's probably about a $50 game, cartridge only plus postage. It's going to be a front, back, in the 3DS. I'll wait to take a picture of it in the 3DS, but basically I will make sure I got the right way around. Take it, come on. If you're right, I've got the right spot. So what I normally do is I normally take a photo of it like that to show you that it's actually reading. Depending on the price point, so looking at about that $50 mark, I will start taking photos of the edges. I'll take photos of the pins as well, like a lot closer, because generally I'll just go front, back, there you go. And if I have to do that, that's probably about a $20 game, and it's not even in this pile for this begin it. Like I was saying before I went into the side rant about the region locks and the region systems for 3DS consoles, and pretty much your PlayStation 2 beforehand. I'm pretty sure PlayStation 3, 4, 5 aren't region locked, but don't quote me on that. There's probably some outliers in there. But before I went on that little tangent, is that what I was saying is that I had a whole bunch of games I normally get from bulk lots, so I generally bulk it lot up first. So for example, I bought a Nintendo DSi, which was a pink one, which always has a pink tax, in the sense that girl consoles, like your PlayStation 2, your PlayStation controllers, anything pink in very, very good condition does command a premium. So not to say that's good, bad, or indifferent, but you are selling, you are running a business, so you take advantage of those items. You don't get involved in politics. So long story short, so I put it up for $275 with a whole bunch of games. So you got like Pokemon Ranger, you had Zelda, Rhythm Heaven, all these different games. So I sat there for about a month, didn't do anything, had some watches. So what I normally do is, like I've said before, is I want to clear everything out of my stock, clear it out of stock, clear it out of my store as quick as I can. So what I normally do is I will, and what I did this morning is I give it about a month, 5 weeks, depending on my interest level of the day and what I've got going on. So what I did is I actually took it out. I thought I would have brought it back with me, but I haven't. So I took it out and split it all up. I'm just looking for it on my cupboard over there. You can't really see it. I'll show you a bit later. So I split it up. So I just basically took some photos of the DSi, so the pink one. So for that one, for example, the first photo for a pink console is always like this, and obviously we start with that one, then we'll open it up and take a photo of the screens, then we'll work around back, sides, panels, and all these different things. And what I normally do when I am listing 3DS consoles and DS consoles and all those different things, I will put a game in there, probably cheaper the better, then just basically bringing it up on the screen and checking photos to say that console can read cartridges. Because what you will find is that if you've got a dishonest buyer, and we'll be talking about those the buyers that I spoke about in the previous video, which obviously bombed. YouTube doesn't like 4-minute, 11-minute videos, and I think a few people got upset at my Trump reference in regards to the Disgruntled Octopus. And just quite quickly on that is that it's not a political play, quite honestly, and to be brutally honest. Being an Australian, US politics doesn't faze me in the slightest. I do enjoy politics, don't get me wrong. I do keep abreast of it. I do like keeping on top of it, but to me, it doesn't faze me. Like, I don't really, and for a lot of people in Australia, they don't have the same sense of political belonging like they do in the States. So primarily in Australia, just to give you a bit of a political sidetrack, by all means, that please don't put your political comments in the section, but you can if you want to. It doesn't faze me in the slightest. But we have pretty much two major parties, which are Liberal and Labor, which is generally decreed as like the working class and the business class. They're pretty much, you do have some staunch supporters for both of those, but generally speaking, a vast majority of Australians don't care. They just think they're dickheads. But we don't have like the big cult following for Republicans or Democrats over here. So now we've got off the tangent. So politics, you gotta love it. So Tori, my beloved Geelong Flipper, was talking about the Grimace Cups the other day. So I did release a short, probably I'll say about 3-4 weeks ago, in regards to the tumblers. I picked up, I think 15 or 20 of these at lunch, because where I work, there is a McDonald's directly across the road from from me. So if I got off my butt and walked 5 meters, I could go to McDonald's for lunch, but I try not to because I'm fat enough as it is. So long story short, I went and got there. I do talk to the manager quite often, because I have said before I used to get the Squid Game stuff. So I went across and got 15 of these tumblers, put them up for $40. They were $20 each, I think it was. $21.95, put them up for $40, and by the time I got home, they were all sold out. So there was like, in total, I think I sold about 15 or 20 of them. I can't remember that. That's been so long ago. My plan for that, I did have people reaching out to me, like Tori. I had a few other people reaching out to me saying, hey, thanks for the Grimace tumbler. It's fantastic. Didn't think of it. Made so much money. Sold them for $60, sold them for $70, sold them for $80, all these different things. And it's like, good, that's fantastic. What Tori said the other day is something that I wanted to talk about in regards to these particular items, right? So he did say he's got one left. He's priced it quite high, which is quite smart. I do think you don't want to be holding on to more than one of these at the moment, because honestly, I do believe that these will probably be released worldwide coming months, in the sense that the market will just completely drop out, because they're everywhere. So I do think Australia is probably a bit of a test market in that. I might be wrong. I was wrong with the Squid Game stuff, which might come out later. However, needless to say, I still think these will be released worldwide. What I made that short for, and this is purely for those people looking to get into YouTube or anything like this, purely for an ego sense, or a channel boost, or a viewer engagement post, right? I've deleted TikTok off my phone, and I can't remember my password, so I do have, whenever I upload shorts, they do go to TikTok as well, but I don't know how they go. I don't know if anyone comments on them. I don't know what's going on with them. But unlike those in America, we don't get paid for TikTok in Australia, so I don't really have that much vested interest. I suppose when I'm doing these videos, I don't really want to make it short content, because I really, for those people who are looking into YouTube, which I highly recommend if you are selling on eBay, or you're looking at reselling, you want to build yourself a business, you want to build yourself a brand, doing short form content, which I do with Skylanders, I'm guilty of that, is that you're attracting the wrong crowd. So realistically, for every 1,000 views for a YouTube video that I do, I normally get about, just say $15, $12, $13, depending on what it is. That's Australian, right? So just say $8 or $9 US, and probably about 7 or 8 pounds, whatever it works out to be. That's for 1,000 views, which really, this time of the year, I do find that reselling niche has cooled off a little bit, which is why I want to try and transition into the Skylander niche, my other channel, which is what I'm focusing on at the moment. Well, not really well, because I'm pretty much, my intention is to kind of transition across to the Skylander one, and start it off with Skylanders, scoop up all the viewers from a Skylander perspective, then move into video games, very akin to what Phoenix Resale did. Maybe do a challenge where we look at Switch games or 3DS games, or Sega Master System games. I might go to the flea markets and try and build a retro collection, or something along that. So that's what my eventual goal for the gaming channel would be, right? So do a kind of a reselling, maybe like a Commonwealth Picker thing, in the sense that he's got his Picker channel and he's got his Flipper channel, in the sense that he picks it, and maybe that's what I do with the Disgruntled games. I go out to flea markets and thrift stores and film video content, all those video content for video games and stuff like that. Then I come across to this channel and sell it from that way. So, like I was saying, is that the reselling niche on YouTube is a bit dead at the moment. It's a bit flat at the moment. I'm finding a lot of people are moving to, I suppose, videos that are doing, like, especially in America. Excuse me, if you watch the bigger YouTubers like ADH Dave and I know Shane Soda City Flips is doing it. There's a few others I can't think off the top of my head, but they are moving to like Whatnot and District and all these different things, and they're dragging that across to their YouTube channel, because to me that means that the YouTube niche is dying, in the sense that it's not supporting the content by itself. So when they go to thrift stores, or they go to flea markets, or they go to Facebook Marketplace pickups and all these different things, people aren't tuning in as much as they were previously. So what they're doing now is they're trying to do their overreach, in the sense that they're running a Dibbed It show, but they're actually piggybacking on the back of YouTube as well, which is obviously getting them that revenue and going from that way. Personally, I will jump into lives such as Soda City Flips, because I speak to Shane on a fairly often basis. I speak to Helo's World fairly often, but generally speaking, I just jump in there and say hello, then I'm out, because I have no interest in watching people doing auctions. I need to be entertained. Or watch videos, or have some sort of content where I'm actually learning something, talking about people and engaging and building an audience, and going from that way. I would rather listen to a podcast and how to improve your YouTube channel, or I would rather do a podcast with a business and banter podcast where they talk about reselling and stuff like that. So realistically, those are the kind of things that I have in the background. Listen to those kind of videos and watch that stuff. I have said before, I normally get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Tori's normally put a video out by that time, so I normally listen to his videos when I'm doing stuff in the morning, in the sense that I might be packing orders, or I might be listing stuff. I'll take photos the night before, or take photos the day before. Then I will, put them through Photo Room, which is an app I use, not sponsored, don't worry, and then make them a little bit spiffy and go from that way. And I normally do it from my listings with Photo Room with the background remover. I have in the past used the eBay one. I was going to use a comparison between, I think it was Pokemon Pearl, it might be something else. Like a 3DS game. It was complete in box. I had it opened up like that, so you could kind of see it. The case was standing up by itself and had the games in front of it. If you look at my eBay store, you'll probably work out which listing it is. Then I used Photo Room, which is the app I use, which is a subscription model. Unless you're looking at reselling heavily or ongoing, I probably wouldn't recommend buying it. That's just my personal stance on it. So don't go rush out and buy everything that every YouTuber tells you to buy or subscribe to, like cross-listing apps and all these different things. But like I say, it's completely chalk and cheese to what eBay pumps out. So I'm a bit of a perfectionist, not that you can tell by my listings. However, the Photo Room caught all the black edgings. So basically if the cartridge was sitting like that, it would catch up this black line here. The eBay version, it was very, very like a poor man or a Temu version. It cut sections out, and it looked, to the naked eye, probably fine if you're just a casual buyer. But generally speaking, when you are selling stuff like this, in this condition, or my beloved Golden Axe Warrior, Bolo, keep an eye out for it. With obviously the exception that someone's name at the top. Collectors want this, and they want it pristine. So the better quality you can present your photo, you don't necessarily have to use a background removal app, just make sure that it's not too busy in the background. You will get a higher price point for that. So that game there, I think you could probably, so this one is region free to my knowledge and from my research. The only difference between the European or the Australian versions and the US versions is a different barcode number, or someone said that there's a barcode sticker on the top, so they basically put a different barcode sticker on the top, and that's really the only difference between Golden Axe Warrior for Australia and from Europe compared to the US. So I have seen listings, I can't say sold comps because I'm not going to bullshit if I can't think off the top of my head, for about $600-700 in the States. That's Australian, so probably about $300-400 American. I picked these up for about $100. So it might be a good idea to work out what Sega Master System games sell quite decent in the States, and if they are compatible with the different Hertz TV, because obviously we've got 50 Hertz over here and they've got 60 Hertz over there, then potentially sell to that market, because the Sega Master System wasn't really well known or well sold in the States. They actually had the NES, which a lot of people know, and there are collectors that are in the States that are looking at building a collection or building, similar to what I'm doing, building a childhood collection that they may have had, or they may not have had it, so and go from that way. And a lot of gaming channels, such as when I run my little videos at the start, you need to, well, in theory, so you don't get in trouble, you need to actually own the physical cartridge of the game that you're emulating. So the ones I normally play at the start of the end of the videos is generally an emulator that I'm playing myself very poorly, if I do say so myself. I need to get a controller, but it's on the Mac, so it's an emulation of that game. I just take a little screenshot of that and play that video from there. But if I was to download those ROMs and play that without actually owning the cartridge, that'd be infringement of copyright laws and everything else you could probably do, and I could probably get sued to oblivion. So you'll only see me play games that I actually own the cartridge for, and possibly that's what people are collecting from the States. I'm not talking about, obviously the people with 15, 16 subscribers, but the ones with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, you probably will find that they will buy that cartridge, even if it's fleeting in the sense of saying, hey, look, I owned it at that point of time, here it is. When I recorded the ROM, I own the cartridge and go from there. I don't know how it works for longevity issues, in the sense that if I put it on my YouTube channel now, because I owned it at that point of time, and then 6 months later I sell it, and then 12 months later Sega comes after me for emulating a game. I'm not too sure how that would work. But yeah, like I said, just that's why I normally show the games at the start of the video to say, hey, look, I do have it. So it's just a bit of a ass covering activity from that way. But we haven't really got much done. We've just been dribbling. So we've talked about the DS games. So generally speaking, like I said before, I normally take out your Zeldas, the Minish Cap, and those ones. Generally, Legend of Zelda games on the DS do pretty well. Make sure that they're genuine. The easiest way you can tell if they're genuine, look at the top of the cartridge. If it says Australia at the bottom, here we go. Well, I don't know if it's going to focus in there, but the ones here, it says Australia, AUS, generally speaking, 99% of the time, they are genuine. The ones that do counterfeit these games don't go to the effort of counterfeiting Australian games, right? So, like I said, there's always outliers, right? There's always exceptions. One day I'll learn to drink. Almost wore it. I will go back to Grimace in a minute. It's almost like neat little sections of cutting around. So the easiest way to tell with a DS cartridge is you can actually get a flashlight, and I have shown you in a short before, I can't show you now. They will glow like a purple, and that's how you can tell if the Pokemon games are real. And they do have like a little, I don't know if it's going to come up in the camera, but where are we? In the middle of the cartridge is like a little splinter, and hopefully it comes up, you might have to have a look at it, but I'll try and get it, I can't really work it out. But generally speaking, on a DS game, there's like a little separation down the bottom of it where my nail's running down here. On the front of the cartridge, it's like a little indent. It's like if it's a solid piece of plastic, just completely solid, nothing there, it's probably a fake cartridge. But you can't really see it here. Hopefully, maybe you can, but where my nail's rolling across there, it's like a little divot or a little separated bits of plastic. That means it's a genuine cartridge. So the way you can look on Game Boy games, and I don't have any on me at the moment because I sold them off to a bulk lot this morning. I think we were talking about that, but I forgot about it. So your Game Boy Advance games, your Game Boy Color games, I'm pretty sure the original Game Boy games as well. So if this is a Game Boy cartridge, they're about this big, you'll work out what they do. The Game Boy Advance cartridges, kind of like that shaped. So they're kind of a rectangle. They'll actually, above the Nintendo logo here on the Game Boy Advance cartridge, they'll have two numbers imprinted in here. I'm pretty sure that number correlates with the warehouse they came from. They're embossed. So it might say 32 or 33 or 35 or something like that. So if you hold it and angle it, you can see two numbers there next to, pretty much on the right. Pokemon's the biggest one you want to be looking for. So you're looking for those two embossed numbers. They'll be on the right of the end for Pokemon. They are a sure sign that the cartridge is real, and it's a further thing for a Game Boy Advance game because they are quite heavily counterfeited, the Game Boy Advance games for Pokemon, for example. Look on the back because they're transparent for the Pokemon games, and you'll actually see 4 golden squares on the back. Top left, yes, not here. So the top left of the back of the cartridge. I wish I had one here at the moment. And sorry, David, I'm not going to put a screenshot in. I'm not going to baby you for everything, right? So you look at 4 golden squares. So that's another thing you want to look at. If you get a cartridge, flip it over straight away. If the 4 golden squares are there, it's real. If they're not there, it's fake. I can tell you that straight off the bat. So what you do want to do from the second thing, you want to look for your embossed numbers here. And the third thing, this is for a Game Boy Advance cartridge. We're just using the 3DS game as a really bad example. You want to kind of angle it on the bottom in the sense that the circuit board is on the bottom of the the 3DS, sorry, the 3DS, the Game Boy Advance game, the circuit board, you kind of want to angle it, and you'll see Nintendo 2002 written on the circuit board, and you have to kind of angle it that way from that way. So, and failing that, if it is a very, very expensive game like Pokemon Emerald or Leaf Green or possibly one of those games, I normally go into Amazon and buy a tool for about $3 or $4. That's not very expensive. It's kind of like a specialized screwdriver, so don't try and use a Phillips head screwdriver or a knife with your teeth. I did chip my tooth here years ago trying to do something, so please do not use your teeth. What you can do is you can open the cartridge up, which I do have a very expensive cartridge inside. The Game Boy, original Game Boy games, the original Game Boy Color games has a different screwdriver, so you're better off buying a screwdriver set for Nintendo. Go onto Amazon, you can work it out, which you basically pull the head of the screwdriver off, replace it. It might be 2 or 3 different connections. So the Game Boy and Game Boy Color, from memory, have the same screw set, so they're kind of like a hollow screw in the sense that you screw it from that way, take the panel off, and you take your photo. We're back. All right, sorry about the audio, just glitched up, so hopefully do that. So just quite quickly, I'll bounce back to what I was saying before, is that if you've got a Game Boy game, if it's quite a substantial amount of money, something like Crystal, something like Kid Dracula, which is one of the games I'm selling at the moment for about $500, $600, it's a bit of a bolo. Aggro's Saw, I think it's a skateboard game that's been reskinned with Aggro, which is kind of like the 80s and 90s kids version of Barney the Dinosaur, but it's more Australian and more crude. Probably up on sexual assault charges. So he had a reskinned game. I can't remember what the game originally was, but he had one on the Game Boy, and that's a bit of a bolo in the sense the completionists want that. It was only released in Australia. So take the screw off the back, open it up, and obviously show people the circuit board when you are photographing those games as well, because they give it some legitimacy and avoid people coming back at you saying the cart's fake, or potentially taking the circuit board out, replacing it with a fake one, and going from that way. So that's pretty much what I do with those Game Boy games. With the advanced games, it's kind of got like a tri-screw, I think it's called, I'm not too sure, a tri-wing screw, I'm not too sure what it's called, but basically you unscrew it, it slides off the bottom, open it up and show the circuit, because generally you'll have Nintendo printed on it, have it on the back, and go from that way. So don't have it sitting next to magnets, don't have it sitting next to electrical fields, but generally speaking, what I normally do is I get a screwdriver, tap my finger, just to de-shock it or de-electrify it, I'm not too sure what the right word is, then pick up the circuit board, then kind of lay it down, take some photos, gently put it on the back, then reassemble from that way. So that's what you want to do with your more expensive Pokemon games and stuff like that. Geez, all over the place today. So going back to the original thing, if these games aren't over a certain dollar value and they have been sitting around for a very, very, very long time, like I have said before, like it's been sitting out 4 or 5 weeks at the moment, I'll cut the chaff. So in the sense that I'll take the good ones out, like your Sonic. Sonic's quite in vogue at the moment because of the movies. You read them, have them. I'll probably target that towards more of an international audience. I will use keywords such as region free, opposed to Australian PAL. I'll use probably genuine, region free, rhythm heaven for the Nintendo DS, 2DS, 3DS, and all these different things, and kind of go from that way. I'm pretty sure, I'm not too sure, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I'm pretty sure it will work on the 3DS, the DSi, but I'm not going to say that because I don't have it without a shadow of a doubt. So what I will do is basically go, Rhythm Heaven for the Nintendo DS/2DS/3DS, dash, region free, genuine, and maybe like beat music or something, other keywords, just to do that across. And like I was saying, in Australia it's probably about a $20, $30 game. In America it's about $40, $50 Australian. So it's definitely worth catering towards that international market. Zelda's probably like a $20 game plus postage. It's probably the very lowest I'll go. And I'm probably in 2 minds, if I don't list this, I will probably bundle it with a 3DS console that I get, so in future. So jury's still out on that one. I might list it in the sense that I'll put it up if it sells for $20 plus postage, fantastic. If it doesn't, once I get another 3DS console in, I will delist it and put it with that, just to make it more of an enticing bundle. Spirit Tracks, probably about $40 plus postage. I'm not too sure, I haven't tracked this game for a while, but the ones you want to be looking for on the DS is the Minish Cap. I think that might be a Game Boy Advance game, or Phantom Hourglass, I think, might be the better ones for those. So keep an eye out for Zelda. Pokemon goes without saying, right? It's about $50 plus post. Another Sonic game, probably about 20, $30. If you're that way inclined, you could probably bundle them together. I'm not really a big fan of bundling, to tell you the truth. I try to avoid bundling as much as I can. And I have said this about Skylanders before, is because people want to choose the characters they want. This is a bit of a tip for those people that get to 49 minutes and 49 seconds in. Oh geez, that's a bit lucky, isn't it? People want to choose the Skylanders they want, right? They don't want to have preset packages. What I do find is that people have the variation listings for those particular characters where you choose your own and it's a combined postage rate. They have more success than people who are going, hey, look, here's 5 random Skylanders being chucked in a package together. Suck it up and I'll charge you top dollar for it. They sit and they languish on eBay for a very, very long time. And I have said before, is the reason why I normally close-lipped about this, because I do talk about Skylanders a fair bit, but if you want to get into Skylanders, if you want to create variation listings, the best way of doing it is make it your own. Make it the sense of make yourself unique, make yourself genuine, market yourself. Don't just copy and paste off someone else. I'm not going to throw any shade at anyone, but this should be indistinguishable from my listing to someone else's. By all means, piggyback and do the same level of service and all those different things, but make the listing yourself, market it yourself, go from that way. Otherwise, you're not going to get very successful from the selling point of view. So like I was saying, is that people like them, and I have seen bundles with different characters, different themes. So example, like Trap Team and Swap Force and Giants and Spyro's Adventure, for example, which probably doesn't mean a lot to all you guys, but if I'm going to bundle, those 5 games together with the original game, which is Spyro's Adventure, majority of those characters won't work. This is going back to like learning your niche or learning what you're selling. And this is what I say to all the people, sell your Skylanders to me, because I know them back to front. I'll give you pretty much a decent price to get them off quickly as you can. I really need a better chair. It's going to snap. Sell them to me, because it's, it is better to have 70 or 50, 60, 70% of the money today than it is to probably compete with me, then crack the shits with me and come back to me probably in a month or 2 months' time saying, hey, look, do you want to buy your Skylanders off me? I'm probably going to go 20%, because I've been monitoring and I've been watching your listing for a very long time and seeing that what you've done, what you haven't done, how long it is, and like going back to what I said about the video games earlier and the things being sitting on Facebook Marketplace for 24 hours, 48 hours, something along that, people become more desperate to move these things on because they're not selling as well as they thought they would, because someone on YouTube, such as myself, said, hey, I sell Skylanders, I sell lots of Skylanders. Skylanders are fantastic. But it doesn't necessarily work that way. Like I have said before, I've jumped on that before. I've jumped on the jeans bandwagon in the sense that I bought a whole bunch of jeans, those Carter Brown books, where people were selling them for $40, $50 a book, and like David was saying, is that other people bundled them together. I sold no Carter Brown books. I just sold some offshoot rare books out of that bulk lot. Well and truly made my money back on the 3 or 4 books that I did sell. Then I sold, probably 98% of that bulk lot for the price that I paid for it. And I've got a book inside, about 3 or 4 books inside. One's probably worth up to $1,000 Australian, and one's I think I've got listed for $150 or something. I'm not sure, around that market. So it is advantageous. It would have been better for me to pick up that bulk lot in retrospect, reach out to Leanne or reach out to a bookseller that knows what they're talking about. That's not a dig. When it came out, I was like, hang on, that wasn't supposed to sound like that. So like I said, reach out to Leanne or reach out to someone that knows books back to front and say, hey, out of all these ones, what are the ones to take out? So she would have said, hey, look, go for the ones that I took out, sell those separately, bundle the rest up and put them back on Facebook Marketplace. And I would have given her money for a time, either through channel membership or just say, hey, look, next time you do a video, I'll give you a super chat or here's $20 for your time, all these different things. I think a lot of people watching YouTube fall into the mistake of, not so much myself, because I'm quite happy to tell people, but over reliance on the YouTuber doing all the work for them. So I did have a guy reach out to me a couple of weeks ago saying, hey, look, I picked these up from Vinny's for $80, a whole bunch of Skylanders. And he said, look, what are they worth? And I'm like, oh, yeah, there's some decent ones there, but like I said, it wasn't really worth my time. As much as I like talking to people, I'm better spending my work day than individually pricing Skylanders for this guy. So I thought, well, I was actually legitimately driving to work at the time when he messaged me, and I thought, well, I'll respond to him when I get to work. Then I'll just give him a ballpark figure of what they probably work collectively. I'm not going to break him down to say, hey, look, this particular crystal's worth $20 plus post, and this particular crystal's worth $30 plus post, and all these different things. I would have just said, hey, look, collectively they're worth $300-400, whatever they worked out to be. And then, because I ignored him, I left him on red. I'm not too sure. I can't remember what happened. He goes, oh, what about $150? I said, well, if you're going to sell them $150, mate, I'll take them off you. So it's probably worth about $450 worth of Skylanders. So he got his $60 profit because I paid postage on top of that as well. I paid the paper, and I actually did the bank deposit because I spoke to this guy before. So he pretty much walked away with a $60 profit within a day. He just had to chuck him in a box. I sent him the postage label. And he's home and host. For him to do the research, yes, he could have got probably just say $250 after fees, maybe $300 because he hadn't sold Skylanders before. He hasn't got the niche, he hasn't got the push through the algorithm for that. So he might have got just say $200-300. But they may have taken him 6 months and hours and hours and hours of research to work out what he had. So me coming in and say, hey, look, I'll give you $60 off profit straight off the bat. Send them to me, I'll put them in my variation listings and I'll sell them from there. So he was happy with that, I was happy with that, and go from there. So that's why normally when I say to people, sell them to me, it's not trying to cut people out of the market, it's how the market works. Because if you have been selling on eBay for a while, is that that if you're not into a category, it takes a lot, and this is what I've seen by the Carter Brown books, is that I was saturating the particular niche, the Carter Brown niche. But the sell-through rate wasn't as quickly as I wanted it to be. I didn't have any, sales data for that particular item or books for antiquarian books. So obviously I was going to be pushed further down the search results, and I've had to promote like 20-30% just to get pushed up the top. Then when I turn the promotion listings off, when I do get some sales data, or being smacked around because of eBay is very punitive when you touch things that affect their bottom line. So these are the different things I take into consideration. So needless to say, I haven't learned my lesson. So a couple of months ago, probably would have been a couple of months ago now, I picked up a whole bunch of death metal CDs. I think death metal is probably the best way to put it. There is a lot of these CDs that I don't want to save, for the simple fact is that I'll probably lose subscribers, or I'll probably lose monetization of the video or something like that. So needless to say, we've got Truth Corroded, we've got Godflesh, Helmet, Pennywise, The Emptiness, My Dying Bride, Metallica, Iron Maiden, all those different, Cathedral, they're probably the cleaner ones I can say off the top of my head, Carcass. So I've got all these CDs. So in the process of, because I'm quite low for listings at the moment, and they are a part of the Japan challenge, I'm in two minds whether to basically cherry pick the good ones out, ones that have very quick sell-through rates, or alternatively, I think I paid $120. They were on Facebook Marketplace probably 2-3 months ago. And a very nice gentleman, that looked very scary after dark, I'll leave it at that, came around and dropped them off to my house. They're all pristine. There's a couple of the cases that are cracked and a bit worse for wear, but the CDs for the most part are pretty much brand new or like new. Which, in the sense that I'd probably just list them as good and just draw attention to the fact that the case is cracked and take photos, like I said about before. So I'm in two minds whether just to list them or put them back on Facebook Marketplace, probably at that $300 mark, because these CDs, there's probably about 40-50 CDs here, and from the sold comps, anywhere between $20 of free postage, and I don't know how to send CDs, so I'll probably just send them in a padded mailer or a box. I'm not too sure. I know you can get CD boxes, but I'm not too sure. But things like this is a I'm not gonna say this one. It's a spell book for this particular band, which has obviously got their songs and some text and all those different things. And the CD's in the back and the CD in the front. That one got brand new on eBay for about $100. There's none listed in Australia at the moment. $100 Australian. In America, So that was brand new and sealed, so I could probably look at $75 for that plus postage. I don't know how long CDs take to sell, right? I don't know how to list CDs because I don't do it. So I could probably go through there and comp them all, or bundle them all together. There's a couple of Godflesh that I can see. There's a couple of Suno, Cathedral, Iron Maiden. I've already bundled those ones up. With the Iron Maiden ones, what I've done is I've basically took photos of them, listed them up for $69 with free posters, 2 brand new in the middle there, and then just take them all together just to from that way. But with the other ones, because they're really niche metal, death metal, really. The only thing I know about metal, I hope I'm probably talking at school here, but like Rammstein, my friends were into Rammstein when I was younger. I don't particularly. I can listen to any kind of music except for the guy that sits next to me listens to Dolly Parton. I've got to take my daughter to school. All right, I'm back. I didn't need to take my daughter to school work after all. So, like I was saying, is I'm in 2 minds whether to go through there and price comp them, or do I just basically take a punt and just put them. All right, we've got microphone again. So what I was just saying, if it didn't pick up through the camera, is that I don't know whether to take a punt and price them all up individually. I probably will keep this one and sell that one because of just the uniqueness of it. Go through and comp them up and see how we go, and then potentially look at selling them in bundles, or I'll just put them back on Facebook Marketplace, probably that $250, $300 mark. Because I suppose for me in my store, I have deleted 400 items in the last 2 weeks, probably last week, out of the store. The simple fact is I want to niche the store down to, because I've changed the store names from the Disgruntled Octopus's Lair to Disgruntled Games to be more in line with the advertisement from the other YouTube channel. And I have said before is that whenever I do videos on that other YouTube channel talking about Skylanders, talking about Disgruntled Games, all these different things, my sales skyrocket. Like, very similar to when I use the parcel locker. So there is a direct correlation that people from the States, people from the UK, which I don't really sell a lot of Skylanders to the UK or Europe, I do get sales pretty much quite quickly off the back of the Skylander videos that I do for Disgruntled Games, which is quite an oxymoron thing because I don't do enough of them. And if I did more of them, I'd probably sell more things. Instead of doing this and getting very mediocre views and really not furthering my agenda in the slightest. But like I say, I'm in 2 minds. Let me know in the comment section below what I should do with the CD. Should I just go through there and do quite a quick check? Like I said, they're pretty. The CDs are fine. This is a paper cardboard one. I do know some CDs go for decent money. I have spoken to Uncle Wayno about CDs before, and he said, look, there's some decent money in those CDs. But, like I'm saying, is I don't know enough about them or wanting to, and this is what my argument for getting rid of the Carter Brown books is, that I don't really want to get into CDs for the long run. So, and I don't necessarily want to invest, maybe a day or 2 days worth of work researching them individually, working out price points, then only for 4 or 5 weeks down the track getting bored of them, delisting them all and putting them on Facebook Marketplace anyway. So I'm in 2 minds whether to do that. Let me know what you think. So for those people in Australia, I know in America they do it, but the UPC codes in Australia aren't really a good price point to check. So when you do open up your mobile app, the eBay app on your phone, and you scan the price code like that, they're traditionally not the price point you want to look at. So if you are in a thrift shop, or you're in an op shop, or you're in a garage sale, and all these different things, and you're picking up a thing like this, don't just scan the UPC code. Maybe if the UPC code comes back and it's coming back $100, $200 and all those different things, probably put that one aside. Then work your way through that. So obviously if you've got a big pile of books, you've got a big pile of video games, you've got a big pile of CDs, for example, maybe scan UPC code through them quite quickly. If any of them come up with like $9.99 free postage, discard them, throw them straight away because they're pretty shit. But if all the results are coming back like $100, $200, $300 and all these different things off the UPC code alone, create a little pile in the corner, and once you've got that, maybe out of this 2 stacks of CDs, that's one of them, of all the heavy metal, death metal, and the other one is very similar size to that. go through there. You might only have like 6 or 7 CDs, and this is probably what I will do. It's quite quick and easy to do. I'll give you a live demonstration now. Why don't we? Laugh at my own jokes. So what you do is you go in your app. Probably scan me. So that's what you do. You open up your app, and you just scan the US UPC code. So this one's coming up. Carnival Bazaar 2 CD limited edition, brand new and sealed. So I'm going to go to filter, go down to condition, go pre-owned or used. Then they're coming back as $36 Australian. So potentially maybe that one. I'm not too sure. That one hasn't got it. That one hasn't got it. We'll try another one. Riveting TV, is it? So this one's coming back as $21 pre-owned, with bonuses, CD, OVP. I don't know what the OVP is. It's Germany. So that's $21. There's no Australian results, so it might be worth having a look at that one. Slipknot's probably too common. Yeah, $12 free postage, kind of things along the lines of this. So when you get like $8.67, when you scan the back of the UPC code, it's straight into the discard pile for me, right? Because once you do the typing it in, this one's $20, $15 free postage. So it's another Slipknot one. So straight into the discard pile, right? Riveting. This is AC/DC. Where's the Australian ones? Yeah, $11 free postage from the UK. No, so that's straight to the discard pile. So maybe it might be a case of me just going through them, and you might as well stick with me and do this one now. So it's Metallica, $20 free postage, too low. What's this one? This one's pretty cool, actually. Acid King, middle of nowhere, brand new is $126.43 from Germany. That's the only one that's currently coming up. That's not to say that's the only one that's listed. It's the only one that's coming up with the USBC. Every time, I'm actually in the process of reading Corey, Grams and Pop's Vintage. He has brought out a book, The ADHD Entrepreneur. I'm not very far into it. I have a habit of reading books. I actually took this one to my sleep study I had about a month ago. Severe sleep apnea. Go me, CPAP machine. So I'm about, I'd say maybe a quarter of the way through the book. Quite enjoying it. Yeah, probably. I had it sitting on the desk for some reason. I'm not too sure. I must have brought it up with the CDs. So now we have another Slipknot CD. Yay. So we want to take a bet what this one is. This one seems $24 plus $5 postage brand new. So like I said, that's lower than what I want as a return. This one's brand new. It's called Suno. Pre-owned $25. Pre-owned brand new import for $35, $41. $30. There is a few of the Suno or Suno, I don't know how you pronounce it, in this pile, so I'll put him aside. In worst case scenario, I'm just going to bundle it up, right? Whatever this one is, another Suno, I think it is. Oh, hang on. Whoop. Riveting view. So that one's $49 pre-owned from the UK, $25 pre-owned. This one's brand new, it's factory sealed. $100, $125 from Germany, $100 from Germany. So United States is $100. So I'll put that in a side thing. So this is probably what I do if you're in a thrift shop, or if you're in, not so much a garage sale, but if you're in an op shop, you've got a whole bunch of things that look good, or you've got access to a whole bunch of DVDs or books or something like that. Just sit down, grab a whole bunch, sit in the corner, as long as you're not hurting anyone and not making a nuisance of yourself. I don't particularly think they're going to care. Just go through them systematically. Make sure you just put them back when you're finished. You want to clean up after yourself. You don't want to be a jerk. Just leave them all sitting around you for someone else to clean up. This one is Wake Up and Smell the Carcass, which I won't show you the screenshot of that one. Probably around that $40 mark for pre-owned, which that one is. Calculating Infinity, the Dillinger Escape Plan. I have no idea what these are. $15, $13. So that one looks like it'll be one to the pile for Facebook Marketplace. And that's what we're going to do, right? We're just going to basically single out the ones that are decent. If they're shit, I don't know if this one's secondhand, $20, $65.20, $33. But this is that Suno. I'm not seeing any in Australia, so it will go into the pile. And like I said, there's about 4 or 5 of this particular artist. I can always bundle it together if they're not really worth anything. What else we got next? Excuse me, I lose my voice. So this one's from New Zealand, White 2 by Sunno. I'm just going to go with that. So it's $20 free postage, brand new and sealed. So that's from New Zealand, so that's to us. It goes in the bundle pile, otherwise it just goes straight to the crap. For the Facebook Marketplace one, down to a bustle in hedgerow. So when I scanned the UPC code, an Australian one came up for this one, $25 free postage. So like I said, but to me, I normally do things either plus postage or have enough margin I can do tracked postage. I don't send them untracked. I'm moving away from the untracked model. So if it's $25 free postage, it's going in the discard pile. Strife, Truth Through Defiance, $27, $40, $56. Yeah, well that's decent. I really don't have a metric. It's one of those gut feelings. But like I said, once I go through there and actually physically data entry these things, Paradise Lost by Draconian Times. That doesn't have a thing, but it's got the cracked up the top of the case, I think it is. Yeah, it is cracked. Yes, it's cracked up the top. So there's nothing coming on that when I scan that one. So Corn, I dare say this is going to probably be... it's a sample product. It might be worth something. See you on the other side. Yeah, so not too sure. It's actually got a sample product on the back. Alright, I have to wrap this video soon. My phone's dying. So it's got a little sample product on the back. I will investigate it a little bit further. It's an import CD, apparently, $45 and $30 plus postage from France and Germany. Pretty much this is what we're going to do today. We're just going to go through, I don't even know what that is, Nails Unsilent Death. So, yeah, well, we'll see what that is. It's the price points all over the place. Less than 20%, yes, okay, you've told me. This one's $30 plus postage and $20 with $4 postage, too low. We've got Slipknot, the Grey Chapter. Jeez, I like Kiss. I'll leave it at that. Because, yeah, Jaguar, I don't know. Uncle Wayne will be rolling over his grave at the moment. Oh, Jesus. From the United States, $380. There's one for $40 for brand new. $370, $20 from the UK. So it's probably one of these ones I'm going to probably have a bit of a skim, see what's locally available here. What's the price point? Probably if it's under $30 free postage, I'll probably put it in the Facebook Marketplace pile and just sell them probably $10 a CD or something like that, and just go from there. This one is Roots Bloody Roots by Sepultura. So it's looking probably around that $10 plus $7 postage from Germany. There's no Australian UPC one, so I probably will Google that one. I Hate God. $60 free postage. That is Australian. Apparently it's rare. That's an Australian comp, so what I will do is go through that and check it later. So, like I said, it's not much crowbar. There's nothing coming on that one, so it doesn't take it doesn't take much time to just go through there through the eBay app. But don't make your purchases primarily just off the eBay app, right? So you really want to be going through and double checking these things. It's been probably working in my favour at the moment because the discard pile is that at this stage. Like I said, that will grow once I get through on the front of the computer and start tapping these things in manually. But so far, that's the one I do need to check. So it's quite quickly. If you do have just say if the CDs are $1 each at the op shop, you could probably take a punt on death metal and metal CDs and stuff along the lines of that. But if the op shop prices are $5, $10, you probably want to be looking at that $30 plus post price point on a very quick sell through one, just to go from there. So, like I said, you just sit down, grab a whole bunch of CDs, DVDs, what it is. Apparently $72 from the United States for the Cathedral Forest of Equilibrium. Useless pronunciations. Can't even talk, let alone bloody try and pronounce these. Under the Running Board. Yeah, so $10, $8. So, like I said, if there's no Australian comps, I'm just going to do a quick check. Like just type it in, it's not going to take me much, I'm going to touch type, so it kind of works out quite well for that. But make sure we get the right one. Come on, I have to do that one. OM Pilgrimage, I'll test it out a bit later. Napalm Death. So this one's currently coming up with Australian comps of $40 plus $4 postage. So if that was the case, yeah, when I type it in, it's around that $45 price point. I'll probably make it $35 plus $10 postage. Go from there. 9 Inch Nails, I do know those because they were in Quake. You know, that's a bit of a a bit of a trivia thing for you if you remember the original Quake. 9 Inch Nails were on the nail ammo boxes. Yeah, so $15. That's, yeah, discard pile quite quickly before we run out of battery. $19 free postage. See you later. I'm going to pronounce this one. Hikamarumi. I have no idea he's not coming up. You don't even have you don't have a UPC code. Actually, it's making me a lie. Generally, I normally say that, yeah, probably 1% or 2% of the ones that are worth looking into a bit further, but it's actually the other way for these ones. What you can do is you can also filter it to do the item location and just lock it to Australia, which I probably would recommend. There's no exact things here. But if you leave it international, you get a bit of a vibe of what's going on. If it's $15 in the UK with free postage, you probably want to go off that. Brand new, that's $30 free postage. It's not even it's not even in there, so that will go into the discard pile because it's the CD's not even there. So I haven't actually checked to see this. Majority of the ones I have checked previously are in there, so that's not an issue. One out. So $22, or sorry, $16 free postage. Definitely in the discard pile. Hopefully, less than 20%. We're still going. So $18 free postage. See you later. So I probably will sell these on Facebook Marketplace at $5 a CD to make a little bit of money, and obviously cherry pick from that. Sepultura, $13, $15 from Germany. Plus, you got to take into consideration that if it's like $40 postage, that could potentially like be a $35 CD here if people are after it. So $15 free post. See you later. Godflesh doesn't have any UPC codes, and so much for me not telling people what the names are. And neither does Anamorphous. I do have this one listed at the moment. This one's parody Australian CD of Tolkien. It is The Unfinished Spelling Errors of Balkan. It is basically being a 3-part musical synopsis of book and film with 9 new songs and a Lord of the Rings nonsense from Martin Pearson. So it's kind of an Australian one. I do have this one listed for about $199 at the moment, so it hasn't done much. So I probably will go revisit that one just to see how it's playing. I'll probably reprice it, maybe for that $100 mark, see where we go. Pennywise, mine's not even coming up. $20 free postage, that's from mine. I will scrap that listing because it's not really ones that I want to do. $2.99 plus free postage. Definitely the discard pile. Godflesh. I don't know if Godflesh is like an indie band or not printed or something that's got no UPC. So this one, Live 74, it's $20 free postage. See you later. So like I was saying before, if it comes up through the UPC code around about that $20 free postage, it's going to be probably at $10 free postage when you actually type the stuff in. Because not a lot of people put that the UPC code in there. So it's only really picking up the low hanging fruit. Another one that doesn't have any sold comps, or only listings, sorry. Alec Kulmosi's coming up. $25 plus $10. I might put that in there because the casing's a little bit scuffed, so I might put it in there as a bit of an appetizer for people on Facebook Marketplace. I don't really want to extract all the value out of it. You know, I want the quickest amount of money as quickly as I can get. That's another demonic weapons against the sacred. All right, that other one is. No cross, no crown. $30 free postage. Probably back in the discard pile. Carcass, brand new, $26 plus $10 postage. Then whatever this one is. So we've almost gone through the lot. Wolf's Return. Yeah, so that seems to be decent. I haven't seen any Australian ones yet, so I will double check. So I've got some outliers here, whatever that is. Actually, the Grime, we didn't text this one actually. It's probably worth nothing. Yeah, it's probably that $22 plus postage, brand new. So Salt Lick, so that goes in the pile as well. Well, this one's got a UPC, so we'll get a crack at it. So $30 second hand, $65, $112 brand new. We'll have a crack at that one, see how it's later. And a couple of other ones from Carcass and all those different things. So this one here, it does have a UPC code. Yeah, so pre-owned $90, brand new $32 from Austria. So yeah, so realistically, it's really much as where you go from there. So that's it for another day. Before my battery runs out, let me know what you think of these videos. I really didn't get much work done on this one. I don't know how people work and talk at the same time. I can't multitask. But let me know what you think. I kind of try and mix it up a little bit. And yeah, hopefully it's been interesting in the background. But we'll catch you next time. See ya, bye.